good afternoon to each and every one of you. I'm Gary Bolter, the most legendary of Lance's Australian friends from down under. Really? Oh, sorry, I've just been told some rather unexpected news. I have been dethroned, and demoted as iconic Australian film director and great friend of Ben Hall. Ha! What a legend. Matthew Holmes is in town and has now taken my place. Shit. For those of you who don't know me, I am an actor, writer, entertainer, whom some of you may have seen in such awe-inspiring theatrical productions as Whoops, There Go My Big Pantaloons, Pardon Me, Vicar, and who could forget The Bell End Mysteries. But more recently, you may have heard me as the judge in False Accounts. The big question. This quiz is in its 27th year and is usually held at Christmas, so begs the question, what's with the whole summer edition?
Why are you doing this?
Well, Matthew Holmes wanted in on the gladiatorial action of these quizzes. So, despite the cost of an airline ticket, really those things are so expensive these days, he has flown over to captain one team against house captain Zoe Dixon, MBE. MBE, she's got one of those, you know. And of course Zoe's lovely lady, MBG, most brilliant girlfriend, obviously. Now, present today, we also have Rozzles in the house and possibly Marta.
No, we don't.
No, could be taking a show. Okay. Nevertheless, we have Rozzles and Lossels, or should we say a young George Lucas. Now, I am told of all the Rosamunds that our host Mr. Nielsen knows, this Rozzles is indeed held in the highest regards. Now, is Ella here? Ella, It's more of a rhetorical question on my end, as this is pre-recorded and I am not actually there. If you're here, you're keeping score. Now, this quiz, will it be dominated by artifice as two teams travel down the twin rivers of destiny to the ultimate prize of, wait for it, hooray! Hooray! A scratch card? So this begs the question. How does this work? Now, you have or will soon be divided into two teams, and both teams will watch a clip from a film or a TV show and then answer questions on that.
I don't know anything.
Calm down. That's okay. You don't need to know any of that stuff because all the answers will actually be in the clip. Like, what colour was the car in the car chase? Or, which important role did Gary Bolter play in this scene?
You're not my type.
Well, that's honest.
Look, don't get me wrong. You're slim, which I like. But, you're not blonde.
You're really single?
Excuse me.
Certain.
Hi. You're a bit late.
If your team gets a question right, fantastic. Your team scores 2 points. Now, bear in mind, the first answer is the one that is taken, so don't get the question wrong. Otherwise, the question is passed over to the other team for un point. Some other rounds, well, the points may vary, but you're all an intelligent bunch of people. You'll pick this up as you go along. Now, let's get to the important part, the thing I alluded to earlier. The prizes. Now, Lance, I believe you have said prizes. Could you stand up and show said prizes? You can see them, everybody? Good, good, good. So you will notice that Lance is actually holding several lottery scratch cards. Any prize over £1,000 is split as follows. 50% goes to the house. 50% is split between the players in the winning team. Now, the runners-up get a similar prize, and the split is done the same way. Thus, who knows? Today could be your lucky day, because if your team wins £1 million and there's 4 players on your side, honestly, you'd be sharing £500,000 split 5 ways. Well, I hope that's clear. Well, it better be, because this is all legally binding. What's that? Gary, ad-lib here. You want me to ad-lib? Okay. Let's talk about Belgium. Let's not forget King Leopold III. He was a bit of a...
Yeah, we're not doing the quiz today, but I thought I'd show you that because we are going to be doing one on the channel very soon. So, if you want to be on the movie quiz and you're a YouTuber with a YouTube channel, you should get in touch with me because we're going to do a movie and TV quiz pretty soon on the channel, probably be on a Sunday. I'd say that it might be could be on a Friday, could be on a Saturday. It's going to be soon. Now, I was supposed to be interviewing Lawrence Monason tonight at 10 o'clock. And my apologies, but the interview has had to be moved. So I touched base with Lawrence just before we were about to go live, and we've got to move it until tomorrow. So this interview is going to be taking place tomorrow, 10 o'clock UK time. So actually, I'm just going to quickly, there's a couple of actors groups I posted this in on Facebook. Let me just oh, okay, can't edit it. It's been deleted, has it? Damn. All right. Okay, that's nice. UK actors UK. See if that one's so yeah, so okay, looks like they deleted my post anyway. So, well, that's nice, isn't it? Fucking brilliant. That's really odd. I would have thought, because people are always posting like classes and shit, and I'm just, why has it been deleted? Okay, well, fine. Yeah, so this is taking place tomorrow at 10 instead, for reasons beyond our control. But you know, it's only a delay of one day, so hopefully that won't bother people too much. And it will be a really good interview. Yeah, I thought I'd do a quick stream anyway, because you know, I'm here, and I kept this hour available, so I guess I'm going to stream. So I'm going to talk about something I've just watched. Oh man, this was painful. I'm not totally against remakes. Things can be remade sometimes in order to find a new audience, you know. But one thing that definitely should not have been remade, at least not by this team, was this. Terry Gilliam's Time Bandits. I just saw the first episode of this, and it is fucking dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. I mean, one of the things that made Time Bandits work was that you had a group of little people. Is that the PC correct term? I'd rather ask them, but little people actors who were the Time Bandits in question, the thieves. And in this version, it's just a bunch of crap actors who just don't gel. They don't connect. They don't feel like they're part of a gang. They don't feel like they're part of anything. I was quite surprised at just how dreadful this is. And I know Lisa Kudrow is a bit of a one-note actress. She can only play, you know, kind of a kooky version of herself. But when I saw that she was cast as a leader, I actually thought, you know what, man, that might work. That might work with her as the leader. It did not work. I'm keen to see the reviews here. Don't listen to the film review bombing film bros. It's fun, it's light, and it's silly. The effects are sold. I think he means solid. Acting is good. Different spin on the original. Well, the kid is really annoying. I'm a big fan of Tyker. I'm a big fan of Jermaine Clement. But this was just not good. The cons, Kudrow. Yeah. Swapping the roles of Jermaine Clement and Kudrow would have been better for the show. I agree. I think Jermaine Clement would have made a good leader for the Time Bandits, actually, or Rhys Darby would have been good. Phoebe's Time Traveling 8. Who in the world thought this was a good idea? This movie ran more like a family-friendly Monty Python film. Don't compare it. It's not that I'm comparing it. It's just a bit shit. Hey, Whitey Bear, are you free, buddy? Do you want to come on? I had the designer of the game that you and I picked out to play on earlier, and you got a lot of mentions. What a mess. Terry Gilliam's original feature is one of the weakest, and he's one of the greatest filmmakers, so it's hard to understand why someone decided to make this into a series. I don't think his film's one of the weakest. I think it's a good film. Someone should have turned this masterpiece, his masterpiece, Brazil, into a series instead. That could work, although I don't want to see it. Brazil is perfect as it is. Doesn't need to be remade. 3 episodes in and I'm in love. Who cast Phoebe from Friends? Seriously bad. She didn't even bother putting on a decent accent. She's just playing her one note, one color, one trick character. Yeah. Tool washing. Yeah. About to cook dinner. Cheers, buddy. My actor had to cancel tonight, so my live stream with my actor is same time tomorrow. Same time tomorrow night. So mixed reactions. Some people seem to like it. How did they mess this up? Kudrow just proved whatever acting talent she had is gone. I mean, she's always been the same in everything, really, and it's just like, if you like that, that's fine. Phoebe was always my least favorite character on Friends, and my favorite was actually Chandler. Matthew, no longer with us. Stick a fork in Taika Waititi. He's done. A whole lot of fun. What a pleasant surprise. It doesn't take itself seriously, but instead delivers oodles of irreverent whimsy and charm. Great casting. Has that silly Minty Python style humor and pretty high production values. Not sure why it's garnered such poor reviews so far. But you've given it 10 out of 10, but this isn't a 10 out of 10 review. 10 out of 10 is like it's the best thing I've ever seen. You know, absolutely awful. This is so forced. Feels like it's written by ChatGPT. It's not funny or clever or anything. It's cliche ridden, predictable and repetitive. Shameful epic fail. Vapid, dry, pointless. A ship without a destination. Absolutely adorable. Classic vibes. Is this a real review? I don't think it is. No, it's not. This is a fake AI written review. Because, you know, that's the only review there is. It's fake. Now let's to be fair, let's check one of the 1 out of 10s. This is not a fake review. This is from a real account from someone who reviews shit properly. So, you know, Just looking at what they've been watching. National Treasure, Edge of History. Clerks 3. Oh God, I haven't seen the third one. Not sure I want to really. Light breezy fun. Yeah, I've seen that one already. A total infantile disaster. Inspired by Terry Gilliam's film with the same name. Can't recommend this to absolutely anyone. Maybe Watiti himself. So sad. Okay, whimsical hilarity. Let's have a look at this one. Written by Marlon Scott. Also a fake review. Definitely fake. Also, you can just tell when you're kind of reading it. You know. Let's keep going here. See how many more fakes we've got on here. Funny and fun. Bet this is a fake account. Told you. Yeah. Only review they've ever done. I'll find another bad one. Here we go. So this is a 1 out of 10, right? Or inducingly awful. They couldn't have done any worse with the premise. Michael Cera's in the house. Yo, Lance, listening and cleaning. I get it, man. I get it. This is or inducingly awful. They couldn't have done any worse with the premise. Is this a fake review as well? No, look at that. This is a real review. They've given a good review to Napoleon Dynamite, so we know they're a real person. For anyone just tuning in, I was supposed to do an interview tonight, but it's been postponed until tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Actually, I should have that running, shouldn't I, as a little stream on the interview. Hold on a second. I'll put that on now. Okay. There we go. Let's pop that. Let's pop that up. Yeah, your Violent Nature video. I have, funnily enough, got that open in another box right now. So, isn't that like a Russian gangster movie? Let me have a quick look. A Violent Nature, also known as Death of Pumpkin. Oh, hang on. In A Violent Nature, 2024, when a locket is removed from a collapsed fire tower in the woods that entombs the rotting corpse of Johnny, a vengeful spirit spurred on by a horrific 70-year-old crime, his body is resurrected and becomes hell-bent on retrieving it. Is that the film you're reviewing? I don't think I want to see this movie. Just kind of sounds like another dumb horror film. Not that there's anything wrong with those kind of movies, but they're not really for me. Enzo talked about that film on yeah, the vid is pure satire. Yeah, I got that your vid was, because this is kind of like Friday the 13th, but if it was told from the point of view of Jason Voorhees. Yeah, my actor had to cancel the interview with them is tomorrow now at the same time. So thanks for popping in though, Cannoli. Yeah, I'm not too asked about seeing that. I did see today, I saw this film. Maxine with two N's. Oh, I'll spell this film. Maxine with two X's. That's the one. Three X's. Maxine triple X. I saw this film. A24. Starts off really well. It's about an established. It's set in the 80s. In LA. It's about an established adult entertainment woman who is about to get a break in a more mainstream horror film. Someone is killing her friends, but she's not sure who. And she's also being harassed by a private detective played by Kevin Bacon, who's the best thing in the whole film. And yeah, what did I think of this movie? Well, in all honesty, not a lot, actually. That looks like the square where they shot Back to the Future. I thought Kevin Bacon was amazing because I love seeing him play kind of villainous roles. Production design was really shit hot. The movie looks good. I think the lead actress is very, very good. It's a sequel to X and Pearl. Is it like a literal sequel? Okay, if it is, I need to find that out. Yeah, I mean, it's got some really good things in it, but it's just not that interesting. It's just not that gripping. Just thought it was all a bit lame. Just a bit lame. But, you know, it was fine. It passed the time. TNA agency. Thought that was funny. I like the fact that they used a whole load of the old school Hollywood sets, you know, the various kind of backlot sets for the film. So that was kind of cool. But yeah. All right, let's talk about something else. There was supposed to be a whole lot of riots today. I'm pleased to report that they didn't happen in the UK. And part of the reason that they didn't happen was, I think, there were 3 people sentenced for rioting last week. They got pretty hefty prison sentences. I suspect that acted as something of quite a significant deterrent. But there were protests, but from people protesting against racism, which is great. And, you know, other things. I think, you know, I'm very pleased that shit didn't kick off. And people weren't hurt and stuff like that. Very pleased. So, but I do have one issue with something, right? And I'll tell you what it is. But let's do this. Let's go here. Hey, Left Eye Man. Well, hey, my spidey nips are tingling. Left Eye is in the chat. Yeah, I had an actor interview scheduled today, man, but they had to reschedule for tomorrow. So it's just me. I'm just being here. So far right were basically outnumbered as counter protesters hit streets crossing. Okay, it's the use of the word far right that I have a problem with here. It is very unfortunate that one of the most tragic events this country has ever seen, the murder of 3 young children, the attempted murder of several others while taking part in a Taylor Swift themed dance class. And I'm sure Taylor Swift is going to come and see those families. I have absolutely no doubt whatsoever she will do that. And it'll be on the quiet. It'll be on the quiet when she does it. She will not want publicity. She'll find a way. I'm no doubt about it. It's unfortunate. I get why that stirred up a lot of anger, because we have seen a lot of cuts in this country. You can't get a doctor's appointment. You can't get a dentist appointment. There's no money. Everything is really expensive. Council tax rates are high, all of this kind of thing. So I get it. I get, people are pissed off. People our governments, a succession of governments have been take. Cuts. Population is expanding. It's not decreasing. So you've got to listen to people. You've got to listen to people when they complain or they want their voices to be heard. And when they feel disenfranchised, when they feel rejected or ignored by certain elements of society, they can and they will be misled or lash out. And I'm not looking to justify anything that happened here. Please don't misunderstand me. I am just talking about why things happen. I wrote a play about Northern Ireland, which is one of the most diverse, the conflict in Northern Ireland, which is one of the most difficult topics to take on. It's very complicated. It has many facets. And from day one, I never sought to push one narrative or another with that particular piece. My objective was always, let's look at why these things happen. Let's look at why people react or act a certain way. And I think, I think it's a big mistake of the UK's media to tarnish anyone who wants to protest about the fact that they don't like certain decisions that a government has taken as far right, because some people set a police car on fire at a protest, while there are other protests where nothing happened like that. Is really dangerous. I think it's really it's a very slippery slope for our democracy to try and take everybody in one section and say these people are like this, and take everybody in another section and say these people are like this. And the far right, by the way, do this as well. All immigrants are rapists and murderers kind of thing, which is nonsense. But there are a lot of people caught in the middle of this who don't really feel one way or another about politics, who are, I would say, for the most part, are probably inherently good people. These are not people who hold racist views. These are not people who want to burn crosses or put on white pointy sheets, or who are going to go on EDL rallies or whatever. Not that the EDL even exists anymore. I don't know why everyone keeps talking about the English Defence League. They were disbanded like years ago. So I mean, the press are so out of touch with all that nonsense. But I think it's very dangerous. Very dangerous to keep saying, if people want to turn up and they want to protest about a certain topic, which I don't agree with, they must be racist. They must be far right. I had a conversation earlier this evening with a friend of mine who is not of the same race as me, different racial background. He's not white. And this individual said to me, you know, I can't express my rights as being as wanting to be patriotic, because if I do, on the one hand, my own people from my own cultural backgrounds will, some of them will attack me for saying, "Oh, you're aligning. You know, if you're going to put a Union Jack and wrap it around your body, now you're aligning with the right. You know, you're aligning with racists." And he's saying, on the other hand, you know, he can't. He's also got those people who have hijacked that narrative and made it associated with certain political elements, including the far right. So there are those of us in the middle, and I think this is a lot of people who are upset by some of the things we see, some of the changes that we see, some of the cuts that we see, some of the difficulties that we see. I'm a very liberal guy. I believe in helping people. Absolutely believe in helping people. I've done it all my life. But our country is close to breaking point. It is true. You can't get a fucking doctor's appointment. You can't get appointments for anything. Look at the National Health Service, which they've been trying to siphon off and privatise for years. We don't want it privatised. It's one of the best in the world. But it's also not it's not a revolving door for everyone in the world. It's the UK's National Health Service. It's the health service for our citizens. It's for the people in our country. Unless I pay a whopping amount of health insurance when I travel on holiday, I don't expect to be able to access the best hospitals that, you know, Holland has got to offer or whatever, unless I've got the appropriate medical care for that trip. I don't normally do politics on my channel. In fact, people will know that it's a bit of a no-no. But I'm extremely upset to see my country so divided. And it's not as simple as a lot of people articulate. It's not as simple as saying, oh, well, I'm with this group over here. Oh, well, I'm not going to talk to you then because I'm with this group over here. That's what they're trying to do to everyone. And I don't think it's that simple. I will go on any march that's about anti-racism. I've been a firm advocate of equality and diversity all my life. And I will never change that about myself. But you must understand, whatever your background, that not everybody has had the same education and the same opportunities and the same upbringing as the person standing next to them. And some people have a grasp of the complexities of things that we're dealing with in this country, and some people do not. And it's easy for people to get led one way or another. The point I'm trying to get here is that at the minute, it's actually very easy to see the manipulation that's going on in the media. And I think what's happening is there is an erosion of our democracy. There's an erosion of our democratic rights. And one of the core rights that we have is the right to protest. Now, I want to caveat that quickly. We do not have the right to go out and smash up people's cars, break into shops, steal booze and cigarettes and chocolate, whatever doesn't belong to you. Antisocial behaviour, break bricks off people's walls. We don't have the right to attack the police any more than the police have the rights to attack us. I want to be really clear about that. But there were a lot of people that I think wanted to protest about certain things, and they might be things that I personally don't agree with, right? And that's okay, because that's democracy. That's what democracy is. And those people should have been allowed to protest about those things, whether I like them or not, because that is a democracy. And if, you know, and they should have been allowed to do that without being called or labelled far right. Because one of the first protests that took place in London after the tragic events of Southport, two of the people at the front of that march were an Asian couple, a man with a turban, hat, big beard, and his wife. I forget their names. And they don't look very far right to me. They were concerned parents who were worried about the escalation of knife crime, and generally knife crime with teenagers, which is, it's reached epidemic proportions in my country. I know for anyone listening from America, that probably seems trite when you have school shootings every other week. But firearms are not easy to get access to, thankfully, in the UK. And if they were, we would have had loads of those by now, I can tell you now. So I think there are a lot of people that are concerned about the escalation of crime among young people, and the events of Southport have only highlighted those concerns for people. And some of those concerns have manifested themselves in a peaceful, democratic protest fashion, and others have manifested themselves in a very hate-fueled, racially fueled, misguided anger, which is not helpful for anyone. Some people are probably wondering where I stand on all this. Where I stand on all this is that I think everyone has a voice which has a right to be heard, and I think the government should speak to and make a concerted effort to speak to everybody, because they're all citizens of this country. And I think when they feel they're not being listened to, that's when you get people going out doing stupid things. It's happened before on both sides, and it's being censored on our media at the moment. Sky News, one of their TV vans got attacked, their tyres got slashed. This was not carried out by the far right, it was carried out by people of a different community. It doesn't matter who it was. That was on the news, and then it got deleted. Now, I don't want to live in a country where my news is imbalanced. I don't want to live in a country where my news is not transparent and the narrative is being constantly manipulated. I want to see everything that happens, good or bad. So give me the news as accurately as you can. That's your job. It's not your job to make or shape the political narrative. Now, we know that's wishful thinking because it goes on all the time. I really hope, for the sake of the families who really should be at the forefront of our minds about all this that's happening in the UK, we really must remember that at the heart of this, there are 3 families who have lost their children. My biggest regret in life is that I did not have children, and I had a window to have kids, and that window was kind of stolen from me and my partner, and I won't go into the reasons for that now, my ex-partner. And I think now it's a bit late really for me to have children. So, but I love kids. I'm very close to a number of my friends' kids. I'm godfather to a couple of different kids, and particularly bonded with my ex's youngest niece. I could show you videos of her. She's as cute as a button. If I showed you, you would fall in love with this kid immediately. You know, my phone is, but I probably shouldn't because it's a someone else's kid. But at the heart of this story are three grieving families who are going through the worst experience of their life. We all know, as human beings, how difficult it is when we lose somebody we love. Very, very hard. Very hard. We all know one day we have to lose our parents because they're older than us, and the natural order of things is that they go before we do. It's just how it is. And most people around my age, if you've hit the big 50, will probably have lost one or if not both their parents by now. And you'll remember, if you were close to your parents, if you had a good relationship with your parents, which fortunately I did, you'll know how difficult that was for you. You'll know how challenging that was. You'll know how you needed all your friends around you during that time. You'll know how tough you had to be, how resilient you had to be to get through it. And you'll know that it didn't take a day or even 2 days or even a week or even 2 weeks. You were out of whack for quite a while. Even though I'm not a father, I've spent enough time around kids that who have absolutely stolen my heart as Uncle Lance to fully appreciate the amazing, unique joys. And I'm not underestimating the woes that come with this as a parent, but the unique joys that being a parent means. The first time you see your kid walk, the first time they talk, the hopes and dreams that you have for your children. As fathers, I think every father one day prays and looks forward to and hopes that he will be alive to walk his daughter down the aisle. I certainly hoped to have done that one day. I hope one of my friends one day will ask me to do that for them, because I would love to do that for someone. So, the offer's out there, ladies, for any of my friends. Yeah, it's a natural aspiration that every father would have. Like I said, even though I'm not a father, I've been around kids and love kids so much, I can appreciate what these things mean. To have that stolen from you, as these three families were, these three mothers and fathers were, must be the worst kind of pain imaginable. I've been through some tough times in my life, very tough, but that has to be the worst thing any parent could ever go through, is losing their kid. And what annoys me is that I don't think that the people that are kicking off, particularly those who have committed acts of wanton vandalism, criminality, if you like, and I'm not taking away anything from the people that wanted to protest. I completely understand that need. But I think that when it's spilled over to something else, this hatefulness, I don't think you understand how much harder that is making this for those families. Imagine if you were one of those parents and you turned on your television and you saw people beating each other up as a result of the death of your kid. And these are people who had nothing to do with the death of your kid on either side. That would be so difficult to deal with on top of everything else you're dealing with. I haven't talked about Southport much. My channel is not a political channel. I'm here to talk about films, television shows, news and reviews, games, that kind of thing. But I felt, and I have been feeling for the last couple of days, that I wanted to say something about it. So I guess because my interview got cancelled, I'm saying it now. Well, postponed until tomorrow. We must all keep these families firmly in our thoughts. We must all temper any reactions we might have with the considerations for these three families, first and foremost. We must keep the families of the injured children and also the teacher, who I believe is still in hospital, firmly in our thoughts. This woman is going to have to carry this around for the rest of her life, that 3 children in her class under her watch. And of course, you know, it's not her fault. Of course it isn't. But just think of the burden that she's going to have to carry. This teenager, this Axel lad, who did what he did, didn't just destroy 3 lives that day. He destroyed a whole community of people, 3 families, all of their relatives, all of those kids' classmates, the yoga teacher's life, and the people who came to help who were also injured will all be deeply affected by this for the rest of their lives. And it's a terrible shame in this present age where everything is so difficult right now. Everything is so difficult. We have Gaza back and forth every day, kids being killed over there left and right, you know. Things are so difficult right now. I still don't understand why this kid did what he did. Just to tell me he's got Asperger's or ADHD or whatever it is that people are speculating, and I don't think anything concrete has come out yet. I don't understand. That's not enough for someone to go and get a knife and go very purposefully to a specific location and start murdering children. There must be more to the story than that. He was 17, Daryl. 17. He'll be 18 in a few weeks, I think. So I bring this back to the families again. They are always at the forefront of my mind. And there's a lot of talk about peace and love and unity at the moment. And I think, honestly, I really think that's what we need. We need to come together as a nation. You know, and people who have differing points of view, whether you have a differing point of view about immigration or whether you have a differing point of view, you know, about the boats and all that kind of thing. It's okay to have different points of view about these topics. It's okay to disagree. That's fundamental to the core of democracy. It's okay. And you should have conversations with each other about it. I have a lot of friends on YouTube, especially, whose political views don't align with mine. But that's not why we are connected. What connects us, and the reason that we're friends, is because of our love of other things, our love of movies, our love of certain TV shows. And actually, as people, we have connected and we get on very well. And I've met some of these people in person as well, and it's just the same. There's no difference, you know. I would urge people to find and make connections outside of your usual communities. Make connections with people from different backgrounds from your own. I'm not looking for world peace here, okay? Don't misunderstand me. But I think we just need to try and be kind to each other. We should look back to our history, and it was not that long ago that a crazed madman led a whole nation of people to their death and destruction whilst trying to annihilate another race of people, more than one in fact. And that led to the biggest surge of refugees worldwide the world has ever seen. There's more conflict in the world now than there has ever been since World War II. And if we don't, each and every one of us don't ask ourselves how we personally can contribute towards diffusing that anger. And I get that we all feel it sometimes. I get it. I really do get it. But collectively, we don't want the world to go in the wrong direction. And I fear that it's going to do that sometimes. Anyway, this has turned into an unexpected Lance Rambles On stream. But I won't be doing too many of these because that's not what my channel's about. My channel is about film reviews and so on. What's happened is a human issue. And I ask you again to remember, at the core of this whole thing are 3 grieving families who need love and support, but they also need space and time to grieve and heal, if indeed they can. They have my warmest, most sincere regards from London. Sometimes you feel that these messages from strangers don't mean anything, but I can tell you, having been in a different situation, but where the shoe's on the other foot, I can tell you that messages from strangers can actually offer quite a lot of comfort sometimes. Just means people care. And I think if we can all show we care about each other a bit more regularly, the world and all of the people in it will find that it's a much nicer place to live.